Today we're going to talk about health savings accounts and how 2026 is going to be the year of the HSA. I want to talk to you about why I think you're going to get one, or if you already have one, I'm going to talk to you about how you should be using it. And I want to talk about this with my friend, Tony Shore. Tony, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about 2026, the year of the HSA. Isn't that this past year was the year of the dragon, I think, and then next year's year of the HSA, and then
Year of the Cat, Al Stewart's song, Year of the Cat. Do you remember that song?
yes, the year of the cat.
Anytime anybody says the year of, it's the year of, that's the only thing I think of is Al Stewart's song, In the Year of the Cat. Yeah.
Do you have that on vinyl?
I actually do. I actually
Of course
like Al.
you do.
Yeah, he
Of
had
course you
another
do.
song called Midnight Rocks. I like that one even better from a couple years later. But yeah. Little Al Stewart goes a long way, but I do like his hits. So yeah.
So by the end of the show, Tony, I want people to be really excited about getting an HSA. And to do that, I think I'm going to teach you how you can buy vinyl or multiple vinyl with an HSA. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Let's go. So
Ooh,
yeah.
yes. Sounds good. Well, I always poo-pooed. I'll be honest, I was down on HSAs and I was always negative because that high deductible, I thought, well, this is just a scam from the insurance company and my employer because they pay less, I pay more. I have to use my own money to pay for 100% of my expenses until I hit this high deductible and put it in an HSA. So from an actual health insurance standpoint, for certain like young families, if they have a lot of health needs or if you have a lot of health needs, may not make sense depending on your income. So I was a little down on them until I met you and we did that show. And then I'm like, oh, wow, the tax advantages. And especially if you have the
Yes.
money to put into them. I mean, that account is, that's huge. It's the HSA is the only account in the US tax code or the IRS allows the only account designation where you get a triple tax benefit, right?
I'm going to call it quadruple to really blow your mind. But yes.
Quadruple.
And you did mention, there is some negative to the requirements to be able to contribute to an HSA
Right.
regarding the health. But that's changed too for 26, which is why I'm saying the year of the HSA.
Wow.
So real quick, key benefits. Tony mentioned it, triple tax benefit. You get to deduct top of the line deduction of whatever you put in the HSA. So if you put 1,000 in, it comes off of taxable income before everything else.
So for that year, you're gonna. It's just like putting money into into
an IRA.
Yeah, or
it's like putting money into an IRA
or a traditional 401k.
But it's also whatever it grows. If you don't touch it, if it grows, gets interest, that growth is tax free. So that's like a Roth, which is nice. Additionally, whatever you take out of it, when you do take money out of it, it's tax-free like a Roth.
That's the kicker. But that's the kicker. Comes out tax-free.
That's the real deal.
You get the tax break at the up front,
yes.
and a tax break when you take it out. So you're not ever paying taxes on that money, unlike all other IRS designated accounts like an IRA, a 401k, or even a Roth, because Roth money, you have to pay taxes. You don't get a tax break on the money before you put it in or that you put in there. You have to pay taxes on it up front. You either have to pay taxes on money up front or when you take it out on the principal and the growth. The IRS wants their money. That's why an HSA is so amazing, because the IRS doesn't get their money. It's not a joint account with Uncle Sam.
They don't. And there's talk in December 2025 of getting more and more HSA or giving people money in an HSA account. Congress is debating it. But right now, it's available. And you said there's triple. So the money gets deducted going in. That's one. Tax-free growth is two. Tax-free withdrawals is three. And I said four. If you have an employer plan and you're putting payroll in or the company's matching into an HSA, which would be really great, you're not paying payroll tax on that money going in. So that's the fourth tax
Oh, I
avoidance.
never thought of
So
that. So you don't
yeah,
pay
yeah,
you don't pay any of the payroll taxes on money you put into an HSA.
correct. Ever, right?
Wow.
So the other benefits are this rolls over. So if you don't spend it that year, unlike an FSA, it continues. And so you can put money in an HSA in
Another
2026
benefit. Another
and then not
benefit.
touch it for 10 years. It stays with you and it grows,
And you
right?
get compounding interest, it grows, and it all comes out tax-free. Now the hitch there, people say, "Well, I have to spend it only for healthcare," right?
Correct. You have to have qualified medical expenses.
Right.
And we'll get to how that vinyl can be included in there
Yeah,
in a moment, but I got to
but
keep you interested.
but there's a lot that's included. I mean, pretty much anything you can buy in a pharmacy, like aspirin or I mean, anything. Even
Right.
some diet medications, the HSAs and Flex will cover, that you get outside of the normal realm. Yeah, it's amazing what it does cover, and then you can still use it for other things, but you'll have to pay taxes. It just works like an IRA then, right?
Right, and you can't contribute to an HSA. There's some stipulations which have changed, but one of the big ones is you can't contribute to an HSA if you're on Medicare. They were trying to eliminate that. If you were on Part A, it was in Congress in one of the bills
Yeah, I
that
know.
did not pass,
Yeah.
but
They don't
that
want
hasn't
that
passed.
to go through.
So, but it is portable. So when you leave your job or you move to a different company
It's
or
yours.
year to year,
You
you
don't
could
lose it.
it's yours. You
No
don't
matter
lose it.
what, you don't lose it, and that's the difference, and some people don't understand that they can let it grow like a 401k or an IRA, and you're not
Right.
going to lose that.
Right.
You know, Flex, it's from year to year. It
Right.
resets after 12 months, and if you haven't spent everything in it, you lose it. So, yeah.
And so there are limits though, and there are some downsides. Obviously, downside is you have to use it for medical, which we'll get to, and but you also there's a penalty if you use it for non-medical. If you pass away, it could go to a spouse, but if it doesn't go to children or anyone else tax free.
Right. Yeah.
So that's not great. It's not a good passing generational wealth or not using
No.
it. So you're going to want to use it while you're alive. But there's also limits as to what you can put into it.
Sure.
So contribution limits in 2026 are 4,400 for an individual and 8,750 for a family. But if you're over 55 or 55 and older, you get an extra 1,000. Quick note about that, Tony. Say so you and your wife are both over 55, you can contribute for the family 8,750 if you're both on the same plan. Then you say, well, then I could actually do 10,750 because we can each do an extra 1,000. Yes, that's true. But if the plan is in your name, you would put the extra 1,000 in it for you, and then your spouse would have to open up a separate HSA and
Yeah.
just put 1,000 in. So
Yeah.
there's a little trick there. But okay, so let's get to the changes and
I
why
don't
I
think
think
the limits are a bummer, and it's too bad when there's limits, but all these types of accounts have limits, like what you can contribute to an IRA or a Roth or a 401k. They all have limits, so that doesn't surprise me. I don't hear people complaining about that too much. What I hear the complaints about is that you have to, in order to be able to participate in an HSA or have one, you have to be part of this high deductible health insurance plan. So you
correct.
have to have offered a high deductible health plan and be part of that or participate in that and use that as your health insurance in order to access an HSA. Is that correct?
Correct. And that hasn't changed yet. Part of it has
But it's
changed.
getting better, right? They're
It's
lowering
getting
that.
better.
Yeah.
So you're right. That's the drawback is you have to couple it with a high deductible plan, and there
Yeah.
are limits. This is the government says this is what the deductible has to be, a minimum, maximum, so on. But that has changed, and that change is part of the one big beautiful bill. I'll put the link here for anyone that wants to read the IRS. This came out in December.
Just for
Some
some light
guidance,
readings,
actually.
the IRS
Yeah.
guidance. I don't think there's a day that goes by, Dan, where I don't say, you know what? I'm kind of bored. I want to check out the IRS guidance for something today.
A lot of people will have when they go on to the internet, their home screen is Google for a lot of people. I know yours is Yes, the band Yes and the current news.
Yeah.
Mine is the IRS website. So as soon as I log in, I just look what's going on with the IRS. I love them.
You and Ed
They're my
Slott
favorite,
there's two
my
people in this
favorite government
country.
organization.
There's two people in this country that their homepage is the IRS homepage and main page, and that is Ed Slott, who's considered the U.S.'s foremost expert on taxes and minimizing tax burdens, and Dan Wendol, the two experts in this country, Dan Wendol and Ed Slott. And I know both of them. I feel fortunate enough to have done radio shows with both.
And I think I didn't wear my taxation is theft shirt. So I'll just say I love taxes and paying the minimal amount that I need to pay.
Doesn't your mother work for the IRS, or didn't she at one point?
She did work for in audits of all things. So let's talk about the change that I think for the HSA, which is going to wake a lot of people up to the ability to actually contribute.
And this starts next year, right?
2026.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a year of the HSA because I think more people are going to join HSA, at least is my hope, than any other year in our lifetime. I think this is going to be the one, unless they, make some rules, right? So the bronze on health insurance plans are put into categories of metals, right? So we did a show on this. You can watch it. There was bronze, silver, gold, and we even talked about copper, which is a colloquialism for the catastrophic plans. And there were only certain of the bronze, there was only HSA compatible plans. So if you typed in your zip code and you said, I want an HSA compatible plan, you'll have one choice typically per company. What the one big beautiful bill, it's beautiful, Tony. What it did,
huge.
It's huge. It says now that anybody on any bronze plan or catastrophic plan, so I'm looking at you young people, anyone that's on those plans are considered eligible for an HSA. So you don't have to worry about, well, what's my deductible, so on. If it says bronze or if it's catastrophic, you can get an HSA. That is new in 2026. So there are millions of people that are on bronze plans because they're the cheapest. And I know you don't like the fact that you have to have a huge deductible, Tony, but in reality, if you're not getting employer coverage, you are struggling to pay for any coverage at this point.
Right.
Even the cheap copper plans, the nickel plans, or whatever they are.
Well, and they've went up in cost exponentially. Copper.
Right. The penny is no, because nickel is, there's got to be something. The dirt plans. We'll call them the dirt level plans. Yeah. The iron plans. You got the eligibility for an HSA now. So if you're not eligible right now, if you're watching the show, you're like, what about retirement? What about me? What about through my employer? See if your employer offers a bronze level type plan. Get on it. If your kids are on health insurance through the exchange, tell them to get an HSA because now they're open to it. They're able to do it. And we just went through the reasons why.
Right.
And then I want to talk to you how to use it. But another change that has happened on One Big Beautiful Bill, there was so many, but only two made it. The other one that made it was
very bigly.
The bigly one. This one's not as bigly. DPCs, direct primary care service agreements. So this is like, Tony, you don't have this. It's maybe called concierge. It's not really. It's if you are on a high deductible plan and it's like costing so much to actually use it, right? It's more like a high deductible plan is catastrophic coverage. If I have to go to the hospital for a major thing, at least I got that insurance so I don't go bankrupt. But what if I want to just go see the doctor? I don't want to have to pay so much. I like my $20 copay. Those are gone with high deductible plans. People are buying DPCs, which allow them to pay a monthly fee and then go and talk to the doctor whenever. It might be $100 a month, and that gets you access to the doctor, so you can call them up on the phone, like old school. Hey, let me go. You walk in. Get priority appointments when you need it when you're sick.
That's great, and I wasn't familiar with that, but that's my beef with these high deductible HSA plans because they're like, "Well, we're giving you this triple tax benefit for you, so you put your own money in there and then use that to
Yes.
pay." But
Yes.
then you look at, I'm so used to $25 or $50 copay. But with the high deductible plans, there are no copays. There's no
Right.
coverage until you've met that deductible. Then they cover 80% of everything, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
so until you hit this high deductible, which if you're not going to hit it, you're paying for 100. Our family of 5, when my kids were at home, somebody was always going to the doctor for something, and that's
Right.
what, $250, $300 for just a regular doctor's visit. That would add up, and they're like, "Well, you got your money." So I'm using my own money rather, so I'm still, it would be one thing if they said, "You don't have to pay premiums, but you're gonna put it in this account and use all your own money up until this point." No, you still pay premiums.
Right.
You
But the
still
thing
have
is,
to be
Tony,
putting money in your HSA to use for
you
medical,
do.
but then
You
you
do.
pay for everything until you've hit this really high deductible.
I agree, but the plans are thousands of dollars, sometimes multiple thousands of dollars per month cheaper. So rather than
Sometimes,
pay that
yeah.
so you have the luxury of a $20 copay, why pay $700 more per month for a $20 copay when you could just pay the full price when you go to the doctor, particularly if you're younger or healthier?
Well,
But you're
you
right.
have to do the
If you
math,
use it a lot,
but
you
you
have to
have,
do the math.
yeah, if you're young and single, makes sense because 'cause you're not gonna
But
use the
even with a
doctor
family,
that often.
Tony, even with a family in their 60s, with kids or just a retired pre-retirees that aren't on, not pre-retirees, retirees that aren't on Medicare,
Sure,
a health savings account can still be really powerful. And they can get something like e the direct primary care agreement that can reduce the cost
sure.
elsewhere. If you got that in the past, you weren't allowed to get that wouldn't qualify for HSA, but now it does. And telemedicine was now available. Oh, you use telemedicine, then you can't get a HSA because you're not allowed to have copays on an HSA. Well, no, you that is available now. So
That's good.
so it's broadening. I think 2026, I think what's going to happen to fix healthcare is the government's going to come up with some HSA for all type thing. And they're just Trump wants to just give people money. That doesn't work in my advantage. I would rather get a subsidy for $2,000 a month than give me 2,000 total for an HSA.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but again, it depends on income and all that, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
think HSAs are gonna be so one last thing I wanna make a point on is how to use this. So now you have an HSA and let's say you just got it, you're like, "Oh, now what?" A lot of people like it because they get a card that they can then swipe to use to pay for the medical services they go to, or if they go to the over the counter, they need health, toothpaste, soap, whatever, they could use the card, a vinyl record that has medical some sort of medical teachings, maybe a meditation vinyl,
Sure,
Tony,
sure,
can
yeah,
be swiped for an
yeah,
HSA. There it
yep,
is.
yep.
I'm not telling you how, I'm not an accountant, I'm not CPA, I'm not telling you the rules, but Tony, if you have some vinyl that really are medicinal purposes,
Sure.
that new release really gives you
Music is the best medicine, they say.
right? So let's there's a case we can make on this. So anyway,
Sure.
I suggest to people get the HSA, max fund it, get all those tax benefits we talked about, and don't use it. Don't use other money if you can, to pay for the medical expenses and let your HSA grow, compound, and then when you're older, in your 60s, 70s, 80s, you can use it because you're going to have medical then. That's when you use it because it's going to have grown tax free. So it's a great way to save for retirement. And that's why the younger you are, the healthier you are, ostensibly, and then you can add to the HSA. You have more time for the thing to grow. Don't put it in an HSA and use it right away.
Yeah.
It's still good. It's better than not doing it, but
Yeah, if you can be disciplined and use that as an investment account for your retirement
yes,
years during your
number
working years,
one.
because you're going to have a lot of unexpected medical expenses in retirement, even with Medicare. You can use
That's
it to
right.
pay for your Medicare premiums. You can use it to pay for anything. co-pays, premiums, anything that's remotely, like you said, medical related. So, yeah.
Right. And we did a show on how you can use previous year's expenses later in life. So save those receipts. Watch that show if you want more on that. But Tony, I guess what it's time for.
Let's wrap this up.
You've always wanted to be able to tape my mouth shut, Dan, and you got your wish on that video.
Too bad it's not permanent. No, I'm just kidding, Tony. Of course, my favorite co-host. So the HSA, number one retirement tool, just got better. It's getting better, and it's going to continue to get better, I hope. But 2026 is going to be the year that more and more people are eligible. So hopefully you're aware. Now, if you're not aware, or if you already are aware and you have one, and you just tout it, tell everyone about it. If you don't have one, but you can't qualify, tell your kids, tell your friends. HSA is the way to go. And if you're going to open an HSA, health savings account, consider using it as the retirement plan. Consider putting money in, letting it grow, and using it down the road. That's the lesson for today. But if you really want more information, watch the video I did it, or go to the IRS website like Tony likes to and get your information there. What do you say, Tony? You going to get an HSA? You going to qualify for next year?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You got it?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to max it out and not touch it? And
now that they're making some changes, making it a little better, I think, that's what our plan is. I mean, the average couple 65 and older spends $300,000 over their retirement years on healthcare out of pocket. So, yeah.
You will find it. You will find a way. And Tony, after the show, just stick around because I'm going to teach you how to actually use the card to buy that vinyl, and real deal. But that'll be offline. Thanks for a good show, everyone. We'll catch you all next week.
All matters discussed in today's show are for informational purposes only.
This show is not investment advice.
Dan Wendol nor Dolphin Financial Group are affiliated or endorsed by any government agency.
Investment advisory services are offered through Dolphin Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor in the state of Florida.
Insurance products and services are offered through Dolphin Insurance, Inc.
Dolphin Wealth Management, Inc. and Dolphin Insurance, Inc. are affiliated companies doing businesses as Dolphin Financial Group.
You should talk to someone at Dolphin Financial Group before implementing any of these strategies or ideas.